Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to showcase or give you guys an update on the past couple of days, what I've been doing, what I've been playing, farming, and so on and so forth. This is build number 30, 35. Now, actually, it's legitimately the build number 4. But I've played several different builds, trying out different transfigure gems, doing this, doing that, just like having a good time. First character was the Arc Mana Stacking Ignite, my League starter, had an amazing time. Then it was the Power Siphon of the Archmage that did not turn out that well because the way Power Siphon works. Now the, or at least the Slayer Winter Orb character, where I want to actually say a couple of words to that in a minute. And now we are on the MBX Magic Find, and I know this is a surprise to everybody that MBX Magic Find is actually a Magic Find character. Sick. Yeah, magic finding. So I have several goals on this character. It's a complete scuffed setup, but I have dreams and goals, and I hope this character will fulfill all of them. First of all, a couple of words to my most recent build, the Winter Orb Slayer. Sadly, the market is so completely ridiculous right now that I kind of not recommend playing the build anymore. It's not like that it's not fun and anything, but the prices are just going so incredibly high. It's just for an example, right? When I say like Supreme Vision by Discipline, +1 max power charge, going currently for like 50 divines. I bought mine for 7 divines, I think. Then there is several other pieces of the gear that I spent like 1 or 2 divines on it, and now they're like 10 to 20 divines, including like the shield with just a simple damage reduction, or a 1 max power charge helmet, or this and that. It's like, it's getting ridiculously crazy, and when I spend like 20 to 30 divines on my build, then yeah, somebody else has to pay probably 200 or 300 divines to gain the kind of like same stage as of what I have been playing. Which is sad, but this is how the market works. I currently just cannot recommend playing that, just because spending over 200 divines on that build just doesn't feel right for me, especially since my version would already have then power charge rings and what not. So yeah, that's like, it is what it is. Good. Let's talk about this character over here. It is EK, but on hit version. So this is a Pathfinder with Ethereal Knives as his main ability, or her main ability, its main ability, I don't know. But it's on hit based. It's not Ignite, it's not Elementalist, it's a Pathfinder. And you might wonder now, why the hell would you play a Pathfinder when it comes to EK? And the thing is not like really EK, it's more like Pathfinder is scaling ridiculous amounts of Flask Effect. Whether it's on the tree, where you have like Flask Effect Duration and Flask Effect, same over here, for example. Flask have increased effect. Your entire passive tree, magic utility flask have 30% increased effect. Here all the small nodes have like increased effect. So we're getting pretty much mage blood levels of flasks without wearing a mage blood. And the thing here is that the gold flask and the divination distillate are both flasks that are boosting magic find, and you're getting to quite some nice levels. So I'm currently like 85 and 313. If I use my flask, it's 102 and 356, and I'm still missing a couple of like rarity on my skill tree based on my Elegant Hubris. So this character, I think, has the option to get the highest magic find in the game. And yeah, building this is kind of like a bit weird, because I'm running full magic find. It's not like half magic find, a bit of magic find. It's actually complete full magic find with the Greed's Embrace, Sadima's Touch, Goldworm Boots, Bisco's Leash, Double Venters, and the Quant Amulet. So pretty much all my gear is based and centered around magic find. So, the character overall, I pretty much hit maps like yesterday or something like that. And I started to go into, high tier maps, Crimson Temples, and I'm not kidding, it was so awful. I currently have over 220 death, while having a playtime of what? /played. We have like a playtime of like 1 day, 2 hours, where the most of the time it was like campaign and farming wisps and stuff like that for unlocking the additional ascendancy with the Primalist. And yeah, pretty much the defense of this build is as bad as the offense, pretty much. So offense-wise, it's EK, it's on-hit based, but Problem is the defensive layers. We have Steel Skin, you know, is actually sad that I actually have to mention it as a defensive layer. Then we have like currently, I think like 80% spell suppression or something. It's about 88%, and we run Grace for having like 15k evasion rating. And then there is 6 portals. This is pretty much the state of the build. It is complete in progress. I will give you my POB though, but it's just like, I know that people are gonna be mad if I don't post a POB, but I'm just saying, do not follow this. This is complete work in progress. There is so many things that I need to do on this build to make it like halfway playable, but we're gonna do a map showcase anyways. The way I'm gonna build this is basically, I wanna go into an 8 modded farming strat with the Wandering Path node. Means we're gonna take all the small nodes and we're gonna double them and basically gain quite some insane modifiers. Like some of these maps actually get up to like 240, 250% quantity, which is absolutely ridiculous. So the maps that I'm running are absolutely no joke. But since I can run all the map modifiers because I min-max it basically to do that, for example, I have here cannot take reflected elemental damage. Here we have cannot take reflected fist damage, since we are not converting 100% of my EK into elemental. Then here I have like spell suppression. So basically I want to get into a strat where I can run wisps fully juiced, you know, with like strongbox and everything in Crimson Temple, while playing altars on 8 modded maps. This is kind of like the dream, the goal that I have on this character. So far, we had a rough time just doing yellow, or at least like rare Crimson Temple maps. At some point, I decided to corrupt them, and some of the maps are obviously going to be 8 modded. And recently, like an hour yesterday, we played like with the altar modifiers. I'm like super far away to get this character to a point where it actually can farm the league mechanic and stuff like that. And you're most likely going to need a headhunter. So I would say I'm just gonna pop in a random map here. The good thing is, when I'm rolling my maps, you know, I just alch them and then I just val them, because I know I can run every map modifier. I don't have leech, I cannot take reflected elemental damage. If it's a no regen map, my divination distillate is a hybrid flask, so it gets me back life and mana, and basically that is enough to yeah, to keep on spamming your abilities. There is Enlighten's missing. I currently run Purity of Elements for Ailment Immunity, Grace, and Hatred. I can technically use my Heralds, but that needs Enlighten level 4. But if I use them, then I cannot use my Blessing anymore with Zealotry. The way it works is, we have since we're scaling so incredible high mana, like Flask effect, here with a reduced mana cost of skills, as soon as this is active, for example, we're having like, once the flask is not active, so here it's like 87 mana cost. If the flask is not active, it's 480, right? And I do have inspiration charges, so that helps as well. So as long as the flasks are active, I can actually use my Zealotry with Divine Blessing, giving me quite a bunch of extra damage. But it also means if I use my Herald now, I don't have too... I have too low base mana to actually activate Zealotry, regardless of my inspiration charges or if my flask is active or not. So there is a bunch of damage to come, hopefully a bunch of defense as well, a lot of speed, but at the moment it's just work in progress. I'm not even gonna bother with the league mechanic. I'm currently doing like about 3 rewards on my Delirium, because what I currently need is base levels, you know, and I try to like not die as much, but obviously I want to try to get as max juice out as possible. I do have modifiers like life gained when I use a flask, which on a flask finder, or Pathfinder in that case, works quite well, but still you need damage reduction to survive these kind of maps. I kind of like the way the league mechanic works, that it is that hard that you just have to skip it if you don't have an insane build, but this is also like the downside in my opinion, because I think the league mechanic is just ridiculously overtuned. The monsters there are crazy. The buffs that the empowered monsters are getting, double empowered, triple empowered monsters, are so insanely rough that even me on a like a somewhat decent build is most of the time just skipping a league mechanic. But the plan is obviously to do that. So let's click a couple of altars. I'm farming the blue one because I still kind of like this, the way where I say, hey, I could technically get a Divine Orb Shrine and get like a lot of currency. And there we go. Character Dash. Man, this is... You know, I really like to play tanky characters. The Armor Stacker, my Windtorp Slayer was like super tanky, and the Mana Stackers are also like quite tanky, so... And this is just like absolute madness. Sometimes I cannot even run the map, but... You know, as I said, this is like a video where I show you guys what I'm up to and what the plans are. So let's talk about the plans for this character. First of all, don't die, you know. This would be pretty cool, and I'm just ripping all my experience, but I don't really mind too much. You know, it's like shitty when you showcase a character and all you do is just die. See, I cannot just run this map. It's just impossible. But still, most of the maps do work, and I'm actually kind of sad. Wait, I can do this, man. Hopium. I usually always leave one, but even if I have one portal left, I'm usually not using it just because I don't want to find myself in a position. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Anyways. I don't want to find myself in a position where I have one portal left and then there is an apothecary card drop or whatever, and in the end of the day you cannot pick it up because you're dying, right? So this is like the worst case scenario, and I want to never find myself into that. So I know I have one portal left, but the chances of me finishing the map is literally 0. But it is a very scuffed build as of right now, but yeah, I hope I can fix it to a certain degree where I can like farm all the stuff that I need. Especially when it comes to Headhunter gaming. So this build is pretty much with a Headhunter in mind, but currently farming up currency to buy one. And we started like mapping yesterday, and we already get like I think like 4 or 5 Divine Orb drops, the 7 years bad luck. You know, on a lucky day, 2 Doctor Apothecary drops, and probably Headhunter will be there, something like that. But, you know, this is like stuff of the future. We're gonna see where the journey will end. But the goal would be, as I said, League Mechanic, plus Max Juice, plus Altars, plus 8 modded maps, something like that. But this is like a multi-stage project, because at the moment, or at least I started with just like regular maps, then I went over to 8 modded maps. Now I'm playing like 8 modded maps with Altars that are rough, you know, like usually this like where I literally cannot run a map, there's like 1 in like 20 maps or something. It was just unlucky that it was exactly the map showcase, but it is what it is. I don't really mind too much, but you know, we just have to like add more stuff, and then see how far we can take it until the point where I can do all the stuff that I want to do. I personally would not recommend doing Magic Find if that means you have to skip the League Mechanic, because the League Mechanic is giving quite some juice, and that basically means, hey, a good character with League Mechanic is probably better than a Magic Finder without League Mechanic, something like that, or at least like equivalent, right? And you wouldn't probably die as much as I do, and this is kind of like quite annoying when it comes to that, but, you know, it is what it is. It's work in progress. Good. How does this character scale damage? It's pretty simple. Fizz is extra and non-chaos is extra chaos. This is the way I decided to go. For example, here I have +1, +2 physical. Because this is a synthesized scepter, so I can do influence crafting. And the other one is basically Fizz is extra fire, Fizz is extra cold. Better once I like fix the scepter. On the suffix you want to have like alias extra chaos. Then you have, for example, the spell damage and non-chaos is extra chaos, the same way as I have made my charms over here. This one with chance to gain non-chaos is extra chaos. Here, Fizz is extra of a random element. Fizz is extra element. On my amulet, I have 26% Fizz is extra random element. And since Blade, Ethereal Knives is a physical spell, we can scale the way where we say like, hey, we want to have as much as Fizz is extra, and then go for like elemental penetration while also going Secrets of Suffering for the added benefits of Scorch, Brittle, and Sap, where Scorch is like lowering the all the resistances of the enemy, which is fine for my builds. It's like conversion builds. Fizz is extra fire, cold, lightning, whatever we get, right? So everything gets like penetrated there. Then we have Brittle, which is basically our source of base crit, and Sap will make that the enemies that we hit deal like up to 20% less damage to us. The rest is pretty much standard Magic Find gear, you know, quantity, rarity, and so on and so forth. But usually you would play this way where you say like, hey, I want to have a stable fixed character, And then I want to add magic find gear piece per piece, and then see if I can maintain my mapping speed to actually profit from all of that. What I'm doing here is probably one of the worst decisions that you can make, where you say like, I'm going to do a magic finder from the get-go, and I have to skip the leak mechanic, instead of making an actual character that is doing a leak mechanic, and then trying the more currency you get, and then trying to add more and more magic find to maintain your mapping speed, your clear speed, while doing a leak mechanic, while doing the altars, while doing your average stuff. So this is kind of like a bit of a stupid idea what I'm doing here, but I'm known for doing stupid things, and I will keep on going on this build until I get my Headhunter, or the Mirror drop, or the Mage Blood drop, or whatever it is. You know, I have like, what is it right now? I think we have home. What does it say? 13,608 hours played in the game. Still 0 Mage Blood drops, 0 Headhunters, 0 Mirror Shards, 0 Mirrors, no Squires, no Calandra's Touch. Whatever is expensive, I've never seen any of those items, but I'm not like known for playing a lot of Magic Find, but I had a lot of fun playing Magic Find last season with Casey's Tornado Shot character on these like 8 modded like strongbox strats in Crimson Temple. Found actually 2 apothecaries within like, I don't know, like 60 maps or something. Was pretty cool, and I really enjoyed it, and that's why I also wonder yeah, go for some magic finding, and I'll keep you guys updated in the upcoming days on yeah, if we ever were able to do a leak mechanic with this character, if it will get levels at some point, because it's dying like way too often. But as I said, there is so many things to fix. I don't even know where to start explaining what needs to change to make this character feel better. I'm just gonna do it and keep you guys updated as per usual. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.